For decades, Canada's defense was defined by Arctic sovereignty. Our vast, icy expanse was both a shield and a symbol of our independence. The North was a frontier few dared to cross, and our presence there was a statement to the world. Guarding our northern frontier, especially during the Cold War, was a matter of national pride and necessity. Canadian patrols braved harsh conditions to assert our claim and keep watch over a region that was as strategic as it was remote. Our partnership with the US and NORAD anchored this mission, watching the skies, protecting North America from threats that could emerge over the pole. This alliance was a cornerstone of continental security, blending Canadian vigilance with American might. But today, global security is more complex than ever before. The threats we face are no longer confined to a single region or a single adversary. The world is interconnected, and instability in one area can quickly ripple across the globe. The old certainties have melted away, much like the polar ice. Russia's renewed aggression and China's growing ambitions in the Arctic have introduced new risks and uncertainties. The North is no longer a frozen buffer, but a contested space drawing global attention. These developments have forced Canada to rethink its role on the world stage. Defense officials and military planners are now grappling with how to adapt to a rapidly changing security environment, both at home and abroad. We're now called to lead not just at home but on NATO's front lines in Europe. Our soldiers train and serve alongside allies, reinforcing the message that Canada stands shoulder to shoulder with its partners in the face of new threats. This isn't a simple pivot, it's a major expansion of responsibility. Our military must be ready to operate in diverse environments, from the frozen Arctic to the heart of Europe, often at a moment's notice. Canada must now look both north and east, balancing Arctic vigilance with a robust NATO presence. This dual focus stretches our resources, but it also strengthens our alliances and our influence. The peace and security of Europe are directly tied to our own. What happens overseas can have real consequences for Canadians at home, making our engagement abroad more important than ever. This shift demands more resources, advanced capabilities, and a willingness to invest in the future of our armed forces. Modern threats require modern solutions, from cutting-edge technology to new forms of intelligence and surveillance, and it calls for a new mindset, from homeland defense to forward defense. It's about showing allies and adversaries alike that Canada is not just a participant, but a leader in collective security. Our commitment is visible in every joint exercise and every deployment. Canada is fully committed to collective security, building trust and unity with our allies. Our actions today send a clear message. We will stand up for our values and defend our friends. The choices we make now will define our place in the world for years to come. As the global landscape shifts, Canada's resolve and adaptability will shape not only our own future, but the security of our allies and the stability of the international order. Canada's evolving defense strategy is perhaps most visible on the ground in Latvia, where our military presence has grown significantly in recent years. Here, Canada now leads a robust and expanding NATO brigade, working closely with allies from across Europe and North America. By 2026, up to 2,200 Canadian troops will be persistently deployed in Latvia, serving as a forward deterrent against Russian aggression and reinforcing NATO's eastern flank. This marks a significant shift for Canada, from a traditional peacekeeping role to a leadership position in one of NATO's most sensitive and strategically important hotspots. The mission is complex and demanding, requiring seamless integration with allied forces, constant readiness, and the ability to manage intricate logistics across continents. At the same time, the Arctic's strategic importance is rapidly increasing. As melting sea ice opens up new shipping lanes and access to untapped resources, the region is becoming a new frontier for global competition. In response, Canada is modernizing NORAD, investing in advanced radar systems, surveillance technology, and infrastructure to secure our vast northern approaches and protect our sovereignty. The challenge is clear. Can Canada maintain its leadership role in Europe while also investing enough resources and attention to defend our own territory at home? Russia's aggression in Europe is mirrored by its increasing militarization of the Arctic, with new bases, military exercises, and a growing presence in the far north. Meanwhile, China is also expanding its interests in both regions, investing in Arctic research, infrastructure, and even military capabilities, signaling its intent to be a major player. For Canada, security now means defending both our own territory and supporting our allies abroad, often at the same time and sometimes with limited resources. This dual focus is a delicate strategic balancing act, requiring careful planning, investment, and coordination at every level of government and the military. Ultimately, success will depend on Canada's ability to walk and chew gum at the same time, demonstrating agility, resilience, and commitment on two critical fronts. While Canada leads in Latvia, a new kind of alliance is forming in the Arctic. The Ice Pact, Canada, the US, and Finland, aims to build a new generation of polar icebreakers. This closes a critical gap. Russia's dominance in icebreaking has long given it an edge. By pooling resources and expertise, we're building not just ships, but a shared industrial base for Arctic operations. The Ice Pact reflects a trend. Smaller groups of Arctic nations are taking the lead where NATO as a whole hesitates. Yet challenges remain. Western cold weather capabilities still lag behind. Building ships is just the start. Learning to operate together as a cohesive force is the real test. The Ice Pact is a step forward, but only one piece of the Arctic security puzzle. Russia's threat drives Canada's expanded roles in both Europe and the Arctic. Its invasion of Ukraine in 2022 reignited NATO's forward defense, with Canada's brigade in Latvia a direct response. The threat isn't just military. Russia uses cyber attacks, disinformation, and hybrid tactics to destabilize its neighbors. In the Arctic, Russia's bastion defense strategy has led to a massive military buildup, turning the region into a potential flashpoint. Provocations, buzzing allied ships, snap exercises, GPS jamming test NATO's resolve. Attacks on undersea infrastructure like the Baltic Connector pipeline show Russia's willingness to target economic lifelines. For Canada, the threat is no longer distant. It's right across the pole. Our security depends on vigilance in both Europe and the Arctic. While Russia is the immediate threat, China's growing Arctic presence is a rising concern. Beijing calls itself a near-Arctic state, seeking access to shipping routes and resources. Its scientific activities often have dual-use military potential, including polar satellites and seabed listening devices. China's approach is patient, building capabilities for a future, more assertive role. Cooperation with Russia is growing, but it's a marriage of convenience, not true alliance. Both powers challenge the Western order, but mutual mistrust limits their partnership. For Canada and NATO, this dynamic demands vigilance and strategic nuance. We must prepare for collaboration between them while exploiting their differences. The Arctic's future will be shaped by how we respond to both Russian and Chinese ambitions. Russia's aggression has redrawn NATO's map, with Finland and Sweden joining the alliance. Now, 7 of 8 Arctic states are NATO members, creating a powerful northern bloc. Finland brings a large reserve army, Sweden, a modern air force and navy. Their integration strengthens NATO's northern flank and streamlines operations in the Arctic and Baltic. New initiatives, like a trilateral transport corridor and a land command in Finland, boost rapid response and resilience. Sweden will lead NATO's presence in Finland, mirroring Canada's role in Latvia. This unity offers momentum for a coherent Arctic strategy, but also heightens Russia's sense of encirclement. For Canada, it means we're no longer alone in advocating for Arctic security. We're now part of a formidable northern alliance. Despite the Arctic's growing importance, NATO still lacks a unified regional strategy. Allies disagree. Nordic countries want strong deterrence, while Canada and the US focus on homeland defense. This friction leads to uncoordinated actions and missed opportunities. The 2024 NATO summit made no specific mention of the Arctic, highlighting the lack of consensus. Some fear Arctic focus will divert resources from other threats. Without a common framework, allies risk working at cross purposes. Calls are growing for a dedicated Arctic security architecture. NATO's ability to adapt is on the line. Can Canada sustain its dual focus on Europe and the Arctic? Leading a brigade in Latvia and modernizing Arctic defenses both require major investments. Decades of underfunding have left our military stretched thin. Every dollar spent in one theater is a dollar not spent in the other, forcing tough choices. The human cost is real, Persistent deployments strain personnel and families. Specialized Arctic operations demand unique skills and training. Success depends on political will, public support, and a clear message about why both missions matter. Canada's path is ambitious and challenging. Meeting these commitments will require a national conversation about the true price of security. In 2025, Canada stands at a strategic crossroads, balancing its historic role as guardian of the Arctic with a growing leadership position within NATO, especially in Europe. The world is changing rapidly, and Canada must adapt to a landscape filled with complex, immediate threats that demand both vigilance and innovation. As NATO faces new challenges on its eastern flank, Canada's commitment to collective security is more important than ever. This shift is not just a reaction to global instability, but a conscious choice to step forward as a reliable ally and a proactive defender of international norms. The decisions we make today will shape not only Canada's future, but also the unity and strength of the NATO alliance. Will we remain quiet stewards of our vast northern territories, or will we embrace a bolder role on the world stage, influencing the direction of global security? Our leadership in Latvia, where Canadian troops stand shoulder to shoulder with allies, and our efforts to build lasting partnerships in the Arctic are clear signals of our dedication to collective defense and international cooperation. By forging new alliances with Arctic communities and strengthening ties with NATO partners, Canada is demonstrating a dual focus, one that could serve as a model for other nations facing similar challenges. The path ahead is filled with uncertainty. Russia and China continue to assert their interests in the Arctic and beyond, testing the resolve of Canada and its allies. At the same time, climate change is rapidly transforming the Arctic landscape, opening new routes and resources, but also introducing new risks and challenges that will require international cooperation and resilience. NATO's unity will be tested as never before, and Canada's role within the alliance will be crucial in maintaining stability and peace in the region. For Canada, this is not a temporary phase, but a long-term reality that will define our national identity and our place in the world for generations to come. The real question is whether we have the resolve, the vision, and the unity of purpose to secure both our homeland and the alliance that underpins our peace and prosperity. As we look to the future, Canada must decide what kind of leader it will be, one that shapes the world or one that simply reacts to it.